And welcome back, finally, at long last, to Let's Play Once again, I am 9gear Crow, and I am joined here today with Artix and Fidul.
Oh boy. I'm delighted to finally be doing this.
This looks different.
What do you mean?
I think...
This is Type 0, isn't it? It's a guy in a red costume and a big, stupid sword trudging around in a really depressing environment.
I'm pretty sure there was a scythe involved as well. That's pretty definitive.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
No, this definitely would explain why I remembered the whole thing with the story.
I mean, I guess we are collecting the souls of the dead. Yeah, it checks out.
It's distressingly plausible.
Alright, well then, let's go report what we've done to Dr. Warcrimes then, because I'm sure she definitely wants to know what the fuck is going on, too.
Ugh. Don't get me started on what seems to be a vague analogue for Dr. Warcrimes in this story.
Every story needs a Dr. Warcrimes analog.
Ugh. Well, as it is, we've got Evil Navi as voiced by Mark Hamill. So, that will have to do. See, look, I told you there was a scythe.
Oh, I didn't doubt you.
Still not as good as the scythe in Ninja Gaiden 2, though. Like, that thing was a goddamn scythe. Not only was it a goddamn scythe, it also, A, could fold up for easy and convenient storage, and also, its ultimate technique, it wasn't even a big flashy combo, it's just one swing, and anything you hit with it just fucking explodes into gibs.
That seems impressive for a scythe.
And also, I think, isn't this one also literally a goddamn scythe? Like, didn't God damn the scythe?
No, this is Death Scythe.
Oh.
We're just borrowing it. I'm sure he'll get it back eventually.
Like I was gonna say, that's like Darksiders 2 spoilers, isn't it?
I don't know, there are some ways that you can interpret Revelations, but I'm pretty sure there was probably some damning from somebody high up involved here. I don't know, is being familiar with, like, Revelations lore constitute a spoiler for Darksiders?
Technically? I mean, not really, but technically?
Always a fun time.
I mean, not as much as it would for, like, something... what the fuck was that game called? The weird one, where, like, Satan was in, like wearing, like, skinny jeans. El Shaddai.
Oh. That game. That's a game that I mean to know things about, but never managed to get around to it.
That one, I've seen artwork of it online, and it looks weird as shit.
Oh, it is. I beat it. It is an experience.
Like, there's a handful of video games out there that just seem to have seriously done a lot of homework on the Old Testament. And I'm excited to find out if this is one of them.
I think you will find that this is a decidedly more... I don't want to say anime take on the Old Testament, but...
That's just what we need. Anime Bible.
What? Oh, don't even. You know it exists. Like, I will find it.
Yeah, because, like, seriously, like, I see a guy that's, like, built like a brick shithouse trudging around wielding a sword the size of a minivan, just growling and grimacing, and that's immediately what I think about when I think of anime.
Well, that's because this is comic book Old Testament. Please, get it right.
Oh, this is basically Todd McFarlane's, The Book of Revelations.
I got nothing.
Because I'm correct.
I suppose? Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin in praising that.
I mean, Joe Mad, Todd McFarlane, whatever, close enough.
They're all weirdly stylish, weirdly colourful, grim dark, but not that grim or dark except in tone. I guess? I don't know, I'm not a huge comic nerd. I'm only going through what I've osmosed from other pop culture.
I mean, I don't know why this area is so dark. Like, for whatever reason, it's just like the shadows in this area are like twice as hard as anywhere else in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just this video, or if it's just this, like, this commentary in code, but some bits in this are just like, they are nothing.
Oh no, that was how it was when I was playing it. That's why I was like kind of wandering around a little bit.
They took the title of the game a little too literally.
Idly, I wonder if there's a game called Darksiders somewhere.
But anyways, let's check out and see what Kel'Thuzad has in store for us.
We're, unfortunately, we don't have anything too fun to buy. We're gonna be saving up for that bottle.
Boo.
Gotta have the empty bottle.
Oh yeah, you need that for all the speedrun hacks.
Have we bought, like, the weirdly essential tech that isn't tutorialized anywhere, but you have to buy from the shop and the game isn't possible without it?
No, the game mostly just kind of doles those out to you as you go. Like, remember how we got that, like, we just got the counter ability? Like...
That's depressingly considerate.
So, it straight up takes the God of War tack all the way through then, I guess. Because God of War did that too, like, it just gave you all the abilities you needed to complete the game, and it was up to you to just upgrade them to your leisure.
I mean, to be fair, like I said, this is a game that pulls much more heavily from that style anyway than...
So I'm guessing we're talking about the originals here, rather than the fourth one.
Oh god, yeah, the first trilogy.
Because the fourth one was, like, almost Metroidvania-like at times.
Oh, I'll admit, I know absolutely nothing about the new God of War.
I haven't played it yet, but yeah, literally the only thing I know about it is just Christopher Judge is now Kratos for some reason, and boy.
Yeah, he says boy a lot. That is absolutely a thing. No, it's like a good video game. It's stylish and possibly a tiny bit overproduced, and I think it, like, the developers take it very seriously, and why not? But it's just like a really good video game. It will get you some fun hours with your Sony PlayStation 4. But yeah, it is not a game that gives you all of the stuff you'll need right from the outset. It definitely has a cutscene happens, and then you get the one weirdly specific technique that you need to activate the green stuff. That kind of progression. Hey, we haven't thrown cars in a while.
Oh, don't you worry, we're gonna be throwing some cars this update.
I'm weirdly relieved.
I mean, really, if we didn't... The car is our friend. Like, it was with us even in the beginning when we lost all of our power.
Oh yeah, it was our original big super damage power.
So did you look down and only see one pair of tire tracks in the sand? I'm gonna go now, bye.
This LP is canceled.
Ding. I mean, if he's not going to do the sound effects, somebody has to. Well, it looks like it's just us now, Crow. Crow. Ah, shit. Well, welcome to this newly blind solo commentary LP of Darksiders. I'm Fadul, and I probably would have been better at this game than that.
Burn.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, what I missed, sorry.
The LP got cancelled again.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if we told you, but this LP is like one of the most cancelled LPs ever recorded.
I was gonna say, it'd be par for the course, kind of.
Yeah. I've been trying to persuade Artix to do a counter with a ding sound, but this has been resisted.
I don't think we need to go back to that well of jokes.
Yeah, like, that one killed one LP already. Like, does it really need to kill another one? How many more lives must it claim, Fadul? How many more?
I don't know, the word life is doing a lot of work there. Anyway, this looks important, right?
It's really not.
You're just like a guy.
Yeah, just kind of like a little mid-boss type thing up on the highway.
So, again, are they gonna pull another, like, God of War trope where, like, this guy's gonna show up later in, like, numerous abundance as just a regular enemy that you also have to fight?
Oh, yeah, eventually. He'll be a regular enemy.
I don't think there's an action game on Earth that hasn't done that.
But yeah, that's one of the few times I think the horn is actually really useful, because that guy is really hard to stun, but you can just toot at him and he gets knocked back a little bit.
So it's basically Mario Kart 2. Remind me, what does the horn do in Mario Kart again?
It destroys anything that's like right in your vicinity. So like blue shells, red shells, etc.
Also, hell yeah, you picked up that dude and you killed another dude with him.
Oh yeah, the very basic dudes are just like, you just press a button to do a one-hit kill on them. They're really not much of a thing. I imagine there's going to be a mechanic at some point where you have to murder a guy by using other guys.
So how do y'all feel about locked doors?
Oh boy, I love locked doors. Is it specifically a door that you have to unlock with a key, or is it just a closed door that will open when you do a thing?
Oh no, this is a key door.
I'm not quite so sure how I feel about those. I do very much love the closed door, though. Those things are just like... there are some powerful psychological forces at play here. It's how you evoke those moments from the original Zelda, where you see a closed door, and you see 3 lit torches and 1 unlit torch, and nobody needs to explain to you that when you light the 4th torch, the door will open. You just walk into that room and you know, in your soul.
Although, now in Zelda, when you light that 4th unlit torch, basically, a weed pops out and goes, "Yahaha, you found me."
It's the new shit. I mean, that's also a thing. That's just like, hey, go and explore around this stuff with your eyes and find all the things that look like they were designed. And yep, that was intentional. That's also game design.
Okay, so the door has an eye on it, and the key is called the Beholder's Key, so is that the eye of the Beholder?
I get it. I understand the symbolism at play here.
I mean, have you ever... Let me ask you something, Crow. Have you ever played Okami?
Oh no.
Oh, I was just gonna say, then you can see where this is going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, oh god, you really fucked up that eye.
That was an aesthetic detail from Okami that I did like.
Yeah, the locks were in Okami were actually, like, yokai, and you had to find, like, a cursed key, and you, like, literally jammed it in the lock's eye, and then it just died.
That is metal as shit.
It's nothing.
There are lots of things that people don't like about that game, but the aesthetic is not one. But anyway.
Anyway, some plot is happening.
I vaguely know that name.
It's there, beneath the stench of this place. You can sense it, ancient. Neither the White City nor the Black Depths. Something lost between.
I also love how it did a very brief take on the God of War, like dun 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 theme.
I don't know how deliberate that was. I am a big fan of how we've gone on this jumping on birds thing, and now several games have it as a mechanic.
So, who's ready for a sudden genre change?
Oh, hell yes.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Play Panzer Dragoon.
Yep. That was immediately what I thought.
So, if you have ever played Panzer Dragoon, this should look, or Star Fox is probably the more immediate thing that comes to mind. This should look exceedingly familiar.
And play exceedingly familiar from all outward appearances.
I mean, Dragon Thing, Laser Breath, Lock On, this doesn't take a genius. I'm a fan. The question is, how obnoxious are they going to get with it?
No, this is it. What you see in this video will be the only time this occurs in the entire game.
Fantastic.
Honestly, that's the kind of random genre change that I can get behind.
And, like, again, I think, like, God of War 2 also did this, where, like, you had a flying rail shooter segment, only it was a rail shooter in, like, 20 quotation marks, with Kratos' blades. It was weird and just as out of nowhere as this was, too.
I mean, to be fair, Darksiders does... It has a bit of a reputation, and if you can think of, like, a big kind of set-piece kind of thing that another big game did, it's probably here somewhere.
I mean, this is also pretty on brand, really. Like, this doesn't feel completely out of nowhere.
Honestly, I think one of the most interesting things about Darksiders is that, like, it cribs from, like, 50 different games, but it still somehow kind of pulls them all together into one cohesive whole.
There's an art to good cribbing.
And, like, I will say, like, as someone who has played and LP'd a generous amount of Panzer Dragoon, like, it's a little slower paced than, like, proper Panzer Dragoon, but mechanically, it is pretty much spot on, so I guess good on them for, like, being able to, like, shift gears and replicate it on the fly like that, so...
Yeah, it's like the genre change might be one thing, and it might be, like, a little bit, like, conceptually weird, but the bottom line is it still, A, fun to play, and B, if not fun, then, like, breezy and not obnoxious. Like, there's games that do this, and they like, oh, we now suddenly require you to master this completely different thing that wasn't what you signed up for, and we're just going to go straight from 0 to 60 on the difficulty. And also, you have to do it, and if you don't do it, you'll, like, die and have to restart a whole thing again, like...
Yeah, because, like, if this was a Panzer Dragoon game, like, when all 4 of those enemies were just gathered around in front of you, like, they would constantly probably be shooting at you. You would either have to dodge them or take all of them out at once rather than just, like, you know, giving you that little bit of leisure period where they just decide to, like, not fire at you until, like, 30 seconds in.
This is a thing that I have never liked about those times when insert Platinum game here suddenly decides to become Star Fox. Although they've been getting better at that lately. But,
I mean, to be fair, that might have something to do with having made an actual Star Fox.
Nintendo eventually got the message. Maybe they've got it out of their system now. And, like, there were these bits in the Wonderful 101, though, where, like, after having done whatever, you're now flying a ship and shooting lasers and doing lock-on missiles. And then, for about 30 seconds, right at the end of the game, is a section in which you have to fly 2 ships at once using the 2 analog sticks simultaneously. And you have to dodge things and lock onto things.
Oh god, no. That's obnoxious as hell.
Like, it's too much. There's one other point in the entire game that has you do anything like that, and it's nowhere near that level of fuckery.
So there's a trophy for killing 160 things in this segment. Spoiler, I don't get it.
How many things are there in this segment?
I have no idea. But I know that I've never gotten that particular trophy, so...
Well, like, the difficulty of that aside, is it at least, like, not particularly difficult to just muddle through this?
Oh, yeah, no, it's fairly easy.
Because if so...
Like you saw, I had one scare, maybe around, like, the halfway point, when I got hit by, like, 4 things at once, but other than that, like I said, this is pretty trivial.
And also, like, the game is being very liberal with its, like, God of War healing, like, goodies, so...
Yeah, it's hard to tell on this encode because the enemies that drop them are really small, but there's a bunch of little bats that fly by, and anytime you kill them, you get a little bit of health back.
Yeah, because, like, in the Panzer Dragoon games, like, in the first 3, you had, like, 1 health bar, and that was it if you blew through it and over the course of a level, whereas, in the 4th one, they introduced a mechanic where, like, you could, like, kill enemies with a burst attack and, like, replenish, like, half your health bar, but it would, like, cost a hell of a lot to do.
Strategy?
Yup.
There's a time for tactics.
Yeah, and Darksiders is not that time.
Some games are just like, okay, we're going to go out of our way to establish a consistent rhythm of having to always be thinking in terms of these weird little arbitrary trade-offs, and I am certain that my favourite video game journalist ever, Tim Rogers, has written like 10 essays on the subject of weird arbitrary things that games require you to juggle, and I think eventually settled on the term stick shift game design, or like stick shift action or something along. It definitely had the word stick shift in it. For things like the active reload in Gears of War, where you're constantly doing this very low level juggling of concerns of things that you have to think about, and there's a very definite trade-off for getting it right. Or you can not engage sometimes.
And I guess thus ends the Panzer Dragoon sequence. Farewell, Golden Bird, you will be missed.
I definitely did not hate that.
Tiamat, I assume? Guess she wasn't up for having visitors today.
Oh, holy shit, you're right, it literally is Mark Hamill.
No, we're not joking. It is actually Mark Hamill.
I mean, it is both figuratively and literally Mark Hamill.
But yeah, so this is the Twilight Cathedral. There's a lot of bats here.
It says action.
That's just telling me that you can do the instant kill thing there. The action is grabbing them and gutting them.
That is action. Like, that's extremely action. I'm a big fan of the fact that it literally just says action for every conceivable prompt in this game.
Well, you know, if you do it that way, you only have to make one prompt.
Right, But, like, given the things that they have obviously put effort into, it's just weird, you know?
You are as wise as you are powerful.
Anyway, we're gonna buy that bottle because, yeah, that's kind of important.
Excellent choice. You are as wise.
I'm a fan of the fact that this attack is literally labelled a home run swing.
I mean, any questions?
Nope, that looks like a park knocker to me.
That's pretty self-explanatory. Again, don't hate it.
It's a little difficult to use because it's because you do stand still for so long when you use it, but against the enemies that it works on, it works really well.
Action game tactic trade-offs.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm guessing the trade-off for it is it does a stupid amount of damage, right?
Not only does it do a lot of damage, it also sets enemies on fire, so they take a little bit of residual damage too.
Fuck yes.
There is something to be said for the ability of games to make techniques that are, like, actively satisfying to just use. Also, were those grapple points?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I literally cannot believe it. You are actually almost, possibly, maybe, might be selling me on this game. I'll never play it, but you're doing a damn good job of selling it to me.
Well, next time, we're gonna start the first dungeon. We'll see you then.